Welcome everybody. Finally, the day is here. We're live right here on YouTube, Silentsports gaming channel, Silentsports video blog, episode 241, our special NFL season preview special live right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Troy West. Let me just do a few things, set out a few notifications, and I'll be ready to go. Thank you guys for joining me. Hope everybody having a good week so far. Happy hump day, if that matters to you. Appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. I do this every year with pretty much all the major sports. I'll be doing the NBA one if it's possible as well, you know, depending on how things move and shake around. But I appreciate you guys so much for supporting the channel. So like I said, let me just put out some notifications and then I'll be ready. Thank you guys. The NFL season starts tomorrow night. Detroit Lions, up and coming team with some expectations this year against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs got some bad news about Travis Kelce. He happened to sit in his knee, I think it's the yesterday in practice. Most likely he's not going to play tomorrow night. Still haven't been official word that he's out, but I'd be shocked if he played tomorrow night. So we'll see how that goes. But I doubt if he plays tomorrow night. I will be getting my week 1 picks included that game. I do that game doing this live, and then Saturday we'll be right back here, and I preview all of week 1. And look at a lot of the we do the peak week 1 picks every game as well. So appreciate you guys so much for that as well. So almost done here, then be ready to go. Sorry, like I said, if you really been noticing, my channel haven't been popping that much, hasn't been doing a lot of it's 2 reasons. One, got a lot going on behind the scenes, so that's why I haven't been putting up regular content. Kind of slowed down. The Crash Team Rumble, I was doing that a lot. To be honest, I don't have my PlayStation Plus is not on, so that's part of the reason why. So but other than that, just things going on with work. I barely work, so just those sort of things. So that's all. So hopefully this week, you know, I'm gonna try to do some more videos. I've been trying to go live on Twitch. I've been doing that with Hades. I'm pretty much addicted to that game. That's my favorite game right now to play. I want to eventually get Madden and 2K, get into that, but it's gonna take me some time. Trying to make some moves, trying to move literally. So all that stuff's going on. So that's why you haven't seen me doing a lot of content. The Sonic Origins Day, I could probably try to get into today as well. Just haven't been motivated to do it, to be honest. So, but I'm gonna try to get some more content so the channel can hopefully grow a little bit more. But now that I've done all my little prep work, I'm gonna go in and get started with the show. Thank you guys for watching. 241st episode. It really should be more than that. I've taken some breaks over the years that people know, but this is gonna be a fun one. If you're an NFL fan, this is the place to be right now. Definitely come and rep your team. So what I'm gonna do, I'm pretty much, you know, it's pretty much gonna be a preview and prediction. So I'm gonna give you my division winners. I'm gonna go touch on every team in the NFL, division by division. You go back and watch my NFL roundabout series, but I sort of touched on the teams during the off season, but even stuff have changed since I did those shows. So this is my put in pin preview show here. So we're gonna start in the NFC. NFC to me is so wide open. A lot of you could pretty much argue for almost every team in NFC, maybe except for a few. But Very strong in the East and top heavy at the West. The North is a lot of question marks, and the South also a lot of question marks. But these teams pretty much middle of the road. But which one of them will rise to the top? That will be the questions that we have in the NFC. So we're gonna start in the East. The East, to me, definitely the strongest out of the other divisions overall. Have the defending NFC champion Eagles in it. But I'm gonna start from 4-1. Of course, 1 will be my division champion. So what I got finishing last in the East, the Washington Commanders. Even though they made some slight improvements, they turned to Sam Howell at quarterback. I guess that's one of the biggest question marks. Can he be steady and be consistent enough? Or that Redskins offense. The Redskins defense has been disappointing sort of in ways the last few years. All that talent up front, all them first rounders on the defensive line. To me, I'm calling out Chase Young in particular. I thought his career would be a little bit more established by now. Still very, very talented. But if that group can round into itself, got some playmakers on the offense. Terry McLennan. Scary Terry, let's see what he could do. The running game is not bad. So the the Commanders are not a bad team at all. But I just don't see them finishing above any other teams in the division. I think the Giants are building something positive there. Dallas is deep roster, and the Eagles are the Eagles. So almost unfortunate. If they was in pretty much any other division, they might be at least competing for the division or at least second. So just Redskins, the Commanders, just in a bad division. So I could finish them fourth. But I think they will be competitive trying to get a wild card. I think they'd be right there like they was last year, for maybe a wild card spot. Finishing third in the division, I got the New York Giants. The Giants was a playoff team last year. This division got 3 teams in. I think it's highly likely to happen again. Giants had problems with Saquon Barkley, but he is locked up. Daniel Jones, like he's turned some type of corner. How he ended his playoffs last year, and what you see shortly in the preseason, look like he's very, very comfortable with this offense. Got a few playmakers. Went out and got Darren Waller from the Las Vegas Raiders, so that's another weapon for him. Can this Giants offense open up? If so, there'd be a problem in the East, but I had to finish at third though. I kind of played around with this a little bit in my head, but I got Dallas second. Of course, I got the Eagles finishing first. Let's talk about Dallas first. The Cowboys, just if you look at their roster, just deep defensive side of the ball. Michael Parsons leading that defense. Will he take another step forward? The secondary is playmakers that like to take a ball away. This Dallas defense could be top 5, have the position to do that. But of course, what Dallas is going to depend on what Dak Prescott going to do. Can he play a little bit better, get it to CeeDee Lamb and that receiver core. Now the running game is focused on Tony Pollard. Can he handle it now that they let Zeke walk? And just, Dallas is just one of the organizations, sometimes they get in their own way. Well, they do something to get in their own way, or will it be just bad luck sometimes? That's why I didn't give them the division win, even though I saw a stat today. They won the most games in the last 2 seasons, more than any team in the NFC. I think they'd be a strong contender, just underneath the Eagles and the Niners. But I gotta give Dallas second in this division, and I got the Eagles finishing first. Very hard schedule. That's the only thing I worry about with the Eagles. They got a rough schedule, which they should. They won the NFC last year, so they just got a rough schedule. Other than that, I'm not worried about the Eagles at all. They Jalen Hurts. And if you just go off history, usually Super Bowl losers doesn't bounce back too strongly, even though the Bengals kind of did. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship game. I think the Eagles have a similar year. I think they still have a strong year, at least get that far, in my opinion. Jalen Hurts is the truth. He has a chance to win MVP. He should have won it last year. And I'm a preview that. Sorry about the interruption. I keep forgetting I gotta play with my controller, and I didn't. So, a little brief intermission. So sorry about that. So let me mess around with this real quick. But yeah, Jalen Hurts to be a strong MVP candidate, especially if the Eagles get through this murderous schedule that they have. So that's the NFC East, and we're gonna move on to the next division. Sorry about that. I should just keep my controller in my lap so it can remind me to just tap a button so it won't go out. I don't know if I could turn it off, but I don't want to turn it off. I got a 10-minute timer on my controller, so if I don't do nothing with it for 10 minutes, it automatically cuts off, and that actually saves it a lot of power because my controller sometimes died out real quick. So that's what happened. I didn't move the controller in 10 minutes, so it cut off. So yeah, that's the NFC East. I think you can't argue with that. Maybe the Eagles and the Cowboys will be fighting for it all year long. A lot of people like the Giants as well. I've even seen a few people that even like Washington. But this is a tough division. All four of these teams are talented. And if it was possible to get all four of these teams to the playoffs, I might have done that. According to what else is in the NFC. Okay, let's move on to the NFC North. The NFC North, a lot of question marks in this division. Aaron Rodgers gone, so he was the bully of the division. Packers was pretty much a shoe-in every year to win the division. Minnesota has been sort of consistent over the years, just never could get over the hump. The Bears has been down for a while, really since the Brian Urlacher era and the Jay Cutler era. Since that era, the Bears hasn't been consistent at all. But I like where they're going. And the Lions, we got a lot of hope for the Lions this year. I think they can take the next step. But we'll see about that. So let's go ahead and list these teams by order of last to first. Finishing at the bottom, I got the Bears. I think they're moving in the right direction, but I still think they need another year. Made some moves, got DJ Moore from Carolina, a great receiver to give Justin Fields. Ran the ball a lot last year. I think he'll be able to open up the pass game a little bit more. Defensively, they still young, still inexperienced. I think that's going to be a problem for the Bears. I think they're going to have to try to outscore teams every week, and I just don't think they have enough yet to do that. But I like the way they're moving. But I think they need another year. I got the Bears finishing last in the North. Now, the next three was kind of hard because there's so much question mark, especially around this team. The Green Bay Packers, I got them finishing third. Now, I've heard more now since the training camp and preseason that came. I've heard a lot more positive things about Jordan Love. I heard a lot of negative as well, that he's still on grass offense, this and this and that. But he looked good in preseason when he's played. And Green Bay, if you look at the team overall, they're probably the deepest team in this division as far as talent on both sides of the ball. I think if they lean towards the running game with A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones still there, I think they give him support on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to depend on Jordan Love, don't turn the ball over, that type of stuff. But I think they'd be competitive because of the roster. So on that alone, I got to put them at least third in this division. Number two, finishing runner-up in the division, the Minnesota Vikings. I was sort of skeptical of Vikings. I think they lost a lot. I think that Dalvin Cook loss is being underplayed. Sorry about that. I think that's going to be a big loss. Can they run a stay consistent? Now I think it's going to be too much pressure, even though I think he can handle it, on Justin Jefferson. To me, far as raw talent, he's definitely one of the best in the NFL. Kirk Cousins, like I said, he's a serviceable quarterback. I think you can win with him, but you got to put a lot around him. The Minnesota defense is still a big question mark. Is they gonna be able to hold up at the right times? And if not, then Kirk Cousins will have to be the hero, and I don't think he want that. But just off experience, I give them the slight edge over the Packers. I think they will finish second, so that means I got the Detroit Lions finishing first in this division. And I'm somewhat hesitant on it, but I just want to go off where they going in their direction. Shout out to Jared Goff. I've been giving him his props lately because he had a great year. I thought once he left the Rams, he was going to be pretty much a mediocre quarterback, but he had a monster year last year. I think he takes that step forward in this offense. St. Brown on the outside, the deep running game, the offensive line is decent. Defensively, they gotta improve. The young guys will be going into their second year, and they've drafted some good rookies on the defensive side of the ball as well. Will they be able to get pressure on the quarterback? I think they will better this year. They haven't won a division since 1991, so that's 32 years since they won a division, going on 32 years. I think other than that, that's why I'm so skeptical with the Lions or a team also. They've been good over the years, but just never could get over the hump. And still never won this division, despite some of the good years they've had with Matthew Stafford and Megatron and that era. So, but I just think they're the better team out of all these teams in the division. I think they are the only team that pretty much know what they're gonna do every week. They got a shot to win tomorrow night. I don't know if I'm going to pick them, but I pick them later. I mean, we'll do that game later, Chiefs and Lions. But I think they're going to be competitive. No Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones for the Chiefs. Probably a little bit, they putting up the banner, so they might be a little bit, feeling themselves a little bit. Probably going to take them about a quarter to get themselves together. I think the Lions have a shot. And I think they have a big shot to win this division, and I'm picking them to win this division. So that's the North in the NFC. Let's move on to the South. South, sort of, like this division, sort of wide open. But all these teams got question marks. I had to think long and hard about this order. I could be completely wrong. Like, this is the division I might be completely wrong in, just because things can happen that I just can't see right now. Alright, so let's start with the bottom of the South. I got the Panthers finishing last. I see some experts saying they could be a shock and win this division. I just can't see it happening. Bryce Young, don't know, he played well at Alabama, but this is the NFL. Carolina just don't have enough around him, so I think he's going to struggle his first year. But I think he's the guy. I just don't think it's their year this year. I think they're going to need a year or two to get that team where they wanted to go. I got them finishing last. Hi, Deborah. How you doing? Thank you for joining the show. Now I'm on the NFC South. I got Tampa finishing third. Tampa, Baker Mayfield. I think he's a good quarterback. I just think, just like most quarterbacks, you need a team around you. Tampa, the dude still got Mike Evans. Still have a few pieces on offense. Defensively is what I'm worried about with the Buccaneers. I think they're going to struggle, but I think they're going to at least finish above Carolina. So I got them finishing third. Now, second, I got the Atlanta Falcons. Honestly, I'm sort of deferring to the Falcons. Ritter, I see him play about once or twice last year. He didn't play too bad. They got this rookie, Bijan Robinson. They said this guy's going to pop off the page. So I'm sort of deferring to that. And the Atlanta run game that's going to support Ritter. Defensively, like I said, me being a Raiders fan, then we get Calais Campbell. He's going to disrupt some games by himself. The back end probably still could improve, but they got a decent front. So I think they could compete for a wild card spot. They could, but I just think, like them, I think they need to see what Ritter's really about. If he takes that next step, if he's your guy, then you stick with him. If not, then I think you got to start looking for quarterback again. So I got a lot of questions about the Falcons, but I just think they are in better position than Tampa and Carolina, so I'm going to put them second. So that means I got the New Orleans Saints winning this division. And honestly, I'm going off the quarterback, Derek Carr. Had some up and downs in Vegas and in Oakland. Had that one great year. He got hurt in the postseason when they lost to the Bengals, I think it was, or was it the Houston Texans? One of those two teams. It was years ago. Don't like the way they treated him to end his career with the Raiders. I think he's a decent quarterback, and I think he's clearly the best other quarterback in this division. So that's why I get the Saints the edge. But the Saints also, you know, they established a pretty decent defense. Question marks on offense. Michael Thomas, is he going to come back and be healthy and be engaged, or is he going to really want to go? Alvin Kamara going to miss the first couple of games. I think that's going to hurt him as well because he's a big part of the offense. But I still think overall, they just got more of an identity than other three teams. Other three teams, I think, still going to struggle some. So I'm gonna go with New Orleans to win this division, just because of that alone. So not sure what they're gonna do in the playoffs, because like I said, but they have a home playoff game, so maybe they could get to the divisional round at least, and then you just never know from there. So I got the Saints winning the division. So I got Carolina, Tampa third, Atlanta second, and the Saints will finish and win this division. NFC West. Pretty much it's San Francisco and everybody else. Pretty much. I like Seattle as well. Rams, like, to me, probably like they should just put question marks over the whole uniform, because I really don't know what the Rams could be a pretty decent team because of Aaron Donald on that defensive side, and Cooper Kupp is still hurt, and we don't know what Matthew Stafford is going to be. And they two big question marks as well. But if everything goes right, they could be at least a pesky team, nevertheless, in the NFC and this division. But in the Cardinals, I got the division last, by the way, as we start talking about them. Kyler Murray's going to be out the first 4 games. A lot of drama surrounding him. New coach, new culture. They let go Colt McCoy, which I think was a mistake, if he was going to try to win games. So, of course, nobody's going to admit that they take it on purpose, but you got to at least give it a thought. DeAndre Hopkins has left. I think Isaiah Simmons is gone, so they lost a lot of guys. Probably a high candidate to be the worst team in the NFL, which we'll get on the first pick of the draft. And of course, everybody talking about the kid from USC, Williams. So, but see, they just signed Murray, so that's going to be tricky. You know, if they get Williams, unless the Williams would have sit a year or two. So the Cardinals don't expect much from them this year. I got them finishing last. That was easy for me to predict that. Like I said, Rams, I got finishing third. Just too many question marks, and I just don't think. I'm not going to say that Matthew Stafford is finished, but he's definitely on the side, you know, which I don't see. I think he definitely passed his prime. He's going to need Cooper Kupp, so if Cooper Kupp can't stay in the lineup, it's going to be tough for the Rams to move around. I like Sean McVay. I think he can do some things with his offensive mind, but at the end of the day, you still need talent to push that offense. Rams got lots of question marks. Aaron Donald, like I said, still 8-1. He's still one of the best defensive players in this game. He could probably win Defensive Player of the Year. But only why I think he won't, because I don't think the Rams are going to do too well this year. So I got to finish at third in the NFC West. Seattle, I got them finish at second. Seattle to be question marks as well. Offensive side of the ball has a deep backfield. Shout out to Geno Smith. Geno Smith was another quarterback I doubted over the years. Turned it around last year. Sort of tailed off at the end. They look good in the playoffs against San Francisco, but San Francisco's making a lot of people look bad. Can he, continue to improve himself? Pete Carroll's a good coach, underrated coach. Can he get him back on track? If so, Seattle could be at least, a wild card team. Like I said, I don't think they can compete with the Niners. Some people think they can because of their young defense and things of that nature, but I just think the Niners are too deep. Probably got the deepest roster in the league on both sides. So I think Seattle going to finish second, so which takes us to the Niners, San Francisco Niners, 49ers. Of course, Brock Purdy came out of nowhere. Still some question marks about him at the quarterback position. That's my only question mark about the Niners. Everything else, is Nick Bosa? Is they going to settle that with him? That's another question mark. But even without him, not saying that they don't need him, but even without him, the Niners are pretty stout on defense. And offensively, Brock Purdy distributing the ball like he did last year. Deebo Samuel now is in a happy place. George Kittle, to me, is sort of underrated. He don't get talked about when you bring up tight ends sometimes because he do it blocking and catching. So I think he's going to come back and have a good year. So the Niners are looking great. It's all about, is Brock Purdy really the answer? If he is, then the Niners going to be a contender for years to come. Recap this division: Arizona, if I finish it last, got the Rams finishing third, Seattle finishing second, and the Niners finishing last. So we're going to revisit the NFC. We're going to have to go over to the AFC now and predict the division. We're going to look at the playoffs as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys, like I said, for joining us here. Thank you, Deborah, for stopping by. I definitely going to look your name up, see if you got a channel. If so, I will subscribe and reach out to you. Thanks for joining me, even though you didn't stay long, but that's great. Hopefully a lot of people watch the replay anyway. But yeah, if somebody come in the chat room, I'll definitely pay you some attention. If you want to defer the conversation somewhere else about the NFL, that's fine as well. So yeah. Yeah, but I used it. I just put it back. Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. That's one thing when you live, And that's my roommate, my friend. She's more than a roommate to me. Just to pause before we go into the NFC. I gotta thank her a lot for giving me a place to stay. Don't want to go through the whole story, but like I said, I'm not from where I'm from. I'm in New Jersey, but I'm from Maryland. Came here about going on now. What's this? September. So it's been 6 months now. Been 6 months. Be 7 months the end of this month. So I appreciate her a lot. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to the AFC. We're gonna start from the East again. This division is tough. The North is probably the best division in football from top to bottom. South, pretty much sort of like the South and the NFC. I mean, same, got one established quarterback, one young team on the rise. And the West, you got the champion Chiefs, of course. And their division is kind of tough. Chargers are coming, seem like it. Can never improve from last year. And Vegas, nothing to sneeze at either. So, but we're going to start the East. The East, this was probably the toughest division for me to break down. But finishing last, I got to do the Patriots. And I don't doubt the Patriots. Wouldn't shock me if they shock the world and at least make the playoffs. I don't see them doing the division, but even if, wouldn't shock me if they finish, higher than last. just because of the pedigree. Bill Belichick, I don't think he's the best coach right now in the NFL, but he's one of the best ever. Defensively, you know they're going to be stout. So, I think on that alone, you probably could win some games that you probably didn't think you was going to win. But I just see on the other side of the ball, offense, that's where I just don't see New England competing. All these other teams, offenses is much more explosive. Matt Jones, I don't think he's a way over his head. He just don't have the talent around him to compete. And he got to develop more now. Them getting Bill O'Brien, I think that was a big move. Probably the biggest move of the offseason. Getting him back in that New England fold. I think he'll open the offense up a little bit, run some schemes that might help New England score. The Zeke Elliott signing, I think it's better than nothing. But I think he got a lot to prove. Maybe that motivation will help him play better than he's had in the last few years. But New England, you know, I just think they're behind the 8 ball of offense. I think their defense will keep them in some games, but it's going to be some games where they're going to have to put up points, and I'm not sure if they can do that. So I got them finishing last. Number 3, the hype machine. The hype machine, they calling it. New York Jets. Of course, being in that market, of course, you know, things going to get overblown anyway, but Aaron Rodgers coming there, it's pretty much shook up the whole division. And this team, the potential is there, of course. If Aaron Rodgers could reach that MVP level that he just had a few years ago. The receiver Wilson on the outside. Aaron Rodgers now throwing the ball, so maybe he'll have a career year. They did get Dalvin Cook. I still believe in Dalvin Cook. I think that was a big pickup for the Jets. Defensively, they got talent all over the place. Sauce Gardner, Williams up the middle. Just a lot of guys on that defensive side of the ball that's going to keep that defense out. Got the Bills open week 1. That's going to be a huge matchup on Monday night. We picked that game Saturday. But I only got finished in 3rd just because there's still a lot of question marks. Is Aaron Rodgers, could he be the difference in some of these games? They got a hard schedule. They probably got one of the toughest schedules in the league. I don't know if they can overcome all that, because I think they might get off to a slow start, and I don't think they're going to be able to recover enough to even make the playoffs. I'm just going to say I don't have them making the playoffs, but I got them finish in 3rd in this division. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. Bills has been a perennial AFC contender for years. Josh Allen seems like he's continued to get better and better and better over the years. The Stephon Diggs, the thing that happened with him on the offseason, not sure exactly. Basically, he's saying, you know, he was frustrated with the offense, but some people, some experts I've heard saying it's more like he just don't think this team's good enough to win. So he's sort of just frustrated and just hope. But on the offensive side of the ball with the Bills, like I've been saying, even when they was winning, Josh Allen's pretty much their top running back. Like I said, Singletary is okay. They did get the other kid. What was it? Williams, another running back. So hopefully the running game can improve. But other than that, I think they sort of one-dimensional. And that's been the issue with the Bills to me on offense. Defensively, again, Von Miller. Can he get back? He'll be out the first 4 games of this season. I think they off the defense. That's their weakness, pass rush. Everything else is solid, but you need a pass rush to complement the other pieces. So the Bills have some issues, and then the outside drama. What happened to Sean McDermott if they don't compete? So I think just some bad vibes with the Bills. So I got to finish this second. Now this is probably one of my surprises. I knew some people was on the Dolphins, but I really believe in them. I think they can win this division. I got them finishing first in the East. Talent all over the place. We start on the offense. Tyreek Hill, Jason Waddle, the backfield with Mostert, and the offensive line, you know, improved a little bit, but it's going to depend on Tua. Can he stay healthy? Concussions is just so tricky. If you get hit one good time, you could be out for a week or two. That's going to be an issue. I think he got to stay upright this year, or it's going to be hard for them to win this division. But I just think they can do it. But not just on the offense, defensively. Getting Nick Chubb last year. Vic Fangio is their defensive coordinator. He's a good defensive coach. Jalen Ramsey, he's going to be out for a while, but when he comes back, they go on the side of Xavier Howard. This team is just loaded. Might be sort of, people might say, well, they're somewhat paper champions, but all these guys are proven. So I think if they all stay healthy, especially Tua, I think the Dolphins are going to be a problem. I got them finishing first in the division. But this was a tough one. You could make an argument for Buffalo because they've been there the last few years. Even the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers still. He could probably carry this team to a division title. Wouldn't shock me at all. New England would probably be the only sort of surprise, but I wouldn't even be that surprised about them either just because of the pedigree of Bill Belichick. So this is going to be a tough division, but I think Miami is going to wind up coming on top of it. AFC North. Wow, what a division this is. I'm going to put a disclaimer out now. I am a Baltimore Ravens fan, so it might be a little bit biased for me for these next three predictions. So don't hate me for it. But I believe in the Ravens this year. I am worried about one thing, and we'll get to that. But I am worried about one thing with the Ravens. But let's start from the bottom, who I think will finish at the bottom, and it's the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are a very intriguing team. We just start with the elephant in the room, Deshaun Watson. Can he get back to form when he was in Houston? Seemed like he put all the stuff, you know what I'm talking about. You can go look it up. The stuff behind him. I think he's ready to play football. I think he's focused. And if he's focused, he's going to play well. Nick Chubb, best running back in football to me. And he got that deep backfield. I mean, the only thing is he don't have a lot of nobody to rotate him. So I'm just worried that he might be nicked up a little bit. But he's still the best running back in football. Amari Cooper, people forget about him. He's the number one receiving talent. Njoku at the tight end position. So this team is deep. Defensively, Myles Garrett to me, defensive player of the year candidate all year. So they did. The Browns are deep. They could. They're not gonna roll over at all. But I just think still the uncertainty of Watson. And just how tough this division is. I just believe in the other teams a little bit more than the Browns, but like I said, it wouldn't shock me if they make a run. Unfortunately, injuries might play a part of that as well. So I got them finishing last though, but it wouldn't shock me if they finish a little higher. Third, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another tough team. Defensively, just come at you. TJ Watt, defensive player of the year candidate. Just always disrupt the game, but offensively they improve it. Kenny Pickett looked good in the preseason. George Pickens look like he's about to break out this year. Talent all over the skills position. Najee Harris, I think he gonna have a breakout year, so the Steelers are gonna be a problem. But yeah, it's gonna be Kenny Pickett. Can he continue to improve? And can they stay healthy? Because Watt was in and out the lineup last year. Pickett was as well, even though he got the job because of an injury, but then he got hurt himself. So, they disciplined Mike Tomlin, to me, the best coach in football. He's going to get the best out of them. No matter who's out there, he's going to get the best out of them. So the Steelers are going to be an issue. But I still only got them finishing third in this division. Number 2, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals has been won the division the last 2 years in a row. Joe Burrow got some question marks. Got hurt early in training camp. Didn't play all preseason. They started the practice, but he's still even up in the air for this week. They go against the Browns. The Browns have pretty much had his number, other than any other teams. The Browns has been the problem team for him, personally. But he's just a talent that I just can't go against. And he's proven it time and time again. 2 AFC Championship appearances, a Super Bowl appearance. But like I said, is he healthy? That's going to be a problem for the Bengals. And his contract, they got to get that done. I told my buddy, shout out to my man James, by the way. He's a Steelers fan, so he probably don't like that I got the Steelers finishing third in the division. He let me know that he don't. But Burrow is just another animal. If he stay healthy, the Bengals will be a tough team to deal with for years to come. But if they don't get that contract right, and that's what I was telling James, I never believe in the Bengals again. I don't care how good they get, I won't believe them again. If they somehow mess up this Joe Burrow thing, we go back to Carson Palmer. That's the most recent one they messed up. Should have paid him and kept that team together with Chad and who's Mazzada, those guys. They was a problem. But once Carson Palmer left, Andy Dalton held it together for a little while, but clearly Palmer probably was a little bit better than Dalton, and they missed that window there. So, but all that being said, I got the Bengals finishing second. Defensively, with the Bengals, maybe some question marks there, but can't count on Joe Burrow. I got them finishing second. And number one, yes, I had my Ravens finishing first in the division. I don't think it's going to be easy. My one concern, I'll get my concerns out the way first. And as Burst has said, this is the first year under this offense. This is supposed to be more of a patchwork offense. But even me as a fan, I just think our strength is the running game. If Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins stay healthy, still run the ball to set up the pass. I mean, there's nothing wrong with opening it up. Zay Flowers, the rookie, he's been getting a lot of talk. O.J. Beckham Jr. is there. He'll be great, at least as a veteran. Mark Andrews is still probably going to be a big target in the offense, but I just don't think they should go away from the running game. I think Lamar should still be Lamar as well. And the last 2 years, he's got hurt in the end of the season, but averaged both years, we was number one in the AFC. So I'm backing on that. Well, I think we're going to win this division. Maybe we had the first seed if the Chiefs and the Jags, and we're going to get into those two divisions in a second. But have an outside chance. I just don't think they're going to get the one seed because I think they're going to have some division losses just because the division is so tough. I think we got to sweep at least one of these. Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, or Cleveland. We got to sweep one of them. And I probably could deal with a split with the other two. We could go 4-2. I think you can't finish no lower than 4-2 in this division and win it. So, but I think we can do it. And they are my concerns. Now, our strengths, like I said, is the offense really click. We can be dynamic. Defensively, a little worried as well on that side. Can we get to the quarterback? But I believe in our defense because of Roquan Smith. Now, he's sort of a quiet leader, but he's a leader. I think he's going to get guys in position. Secondary, I think, that's what I worry about as well. But I think overall we'll be a decent defense, not back to our roots like Ray Lewis or nothing like that. Our calling is defense. I think our offense is now our strength more than the defense, but I think the defense is decent enough to win us some games. So, and I think we're going to wind up winning this division. All right, so that's the North. That was tough. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, and the Baltimore Ravens finished it first in the North. So let's go to the AFC South. AFC South, same clear cut, but like I said, the two bottom teams, they still rebuilding. The two top teams, one team sort of took a step back. One team took a step forward. But the Indianapolis Colts, I got them finishing last in the division. I just don't like what's going on there. They had some talent. They got Anthony Richardson. He has question marks, but he's talented. Charles Taylor's there. He signed the deal. He's in the fold. But I think he's still going to be out the first 4 games of the season. So they're going to miss him. Other than that, Colts have some young talent, but I don't think it's enough to compete in the AFC and in this division, so I got to finish it last. Number 3, Houston Texans. I just liked how they performed last year. Despite having the bad record that they had, I just think they believe in the culture there. They get Stroud at quarterback, a talented guy, so let's see if he can navigate this offense. Had a rough sort of preseason, but I think he'll be okay. But Houston, like I said, is just still a few years away. Got to keep building on this team. But I think they're going in the right direction, though. I like the vibe there. I'm gonna give them a slight edge over the Colts, and they finished 3rd. Tennessee Titans got finished in 2nd. Of course, the addition of DeAndre Hopkins should improve them. Ryan Tannehill, you know what you're going to get out of him. You can win with him, but just like Baker Mayfield and a few other quarterbacks, you got to put a lot around them. They did put more around him. You still got Derrick Henry in the backfield as well on offense. Defensively, I just think, and also Mike Vrabel as a coach, I really have respect for. I think he has his team ready. Tennessee, has some holes on defense, but I think Mike Vrabel can help sort of stabilize it at least. I think they'll compete for maybe one of the wild card spots. But has Ryan Tannehill reached the ceiling? If so, that's going to be still tough for the Titans. I had to finish in 2nd and finish it 1st. The Jacksonville Jaguars came down strong down the stretch, won the division with 9 wins. Got to the divisional round, an amazing comeback in the playoffs against the LA Chargers. Trevor Lawrence looked like he's ready to take the next turn. He's 2nd year in this offense under Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson, underrated coach, Super Bowl champion with the Eagles a few years ago. Get some weapons. Calvin Ridley, heard a lot about him. I think he's going to be motivated, missing the whole year for the gambling probe that he was in last year. And the other receivers around him, Travis Etienne in the backfield, Tyler's teammate of Lawrence. I think the offensive set. Defensively, maybe a few questions here and there. But can they just be middle of the road enough to win games for the Jags? I just think. And with their schedule, they pretty much lucked up. Their schedule's not tough, maybe because they're not in the tougher division, but even the outer division games are not too bad. So I think that'll help them as well. So I think they will win this division. So I got the Colts finishing last, got Houston 3rd, Tennessee Titans 2nd, and the Jags finishing 1st. Okay, so we got one division to go. The AFC West. Also, this division, a lot of question marks. Can the teams play up to their potential? That's going to be the theme of this division. So with that being said, we start at the bottom with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now me, only why I doubt the Raiders mostly is because they coach. Josh McDaniels, just haven't proven a lot yet in this league. But he gets another opportunity. He got his guys that he wanted in there, so I think this is a big year for him. I think they have potential. I like Jimmy Garoppolo, and that's one of his guys he knew from New England. They got the Josh Jacobs contract is set for a 1-year deal. And I made a mistake with the coach Jonathan Taylor. They haven't gotten this deal settled. They was trying to trade him, and it fell through. So he's going to sit the first 4 games of the season. So they didn't get that straight. So when he comes back, how much of an impact he's going to be. But they get back on the Raiders. Had the potential to finish above this mark where I got him at, but just say like everything with Josh McDaniels just always go wrong at some point. So until he proved me wrong, I gotta put them 4th in this division. 3rd, the Denver Broncos. A lot of people are up and down on the Broncos. A lot of people think that Coach Payton should turn things around, try Russell Wilson. I still believe in Russell Wilson too. I don't think he's finished. I think Sean Payton does have a good offensive mind. He had a similar quarterback in Drew Brees. Russ might be just a little bit more athletic than Drew. Drew is more of a pocket passer. I think Russ like to get out and move a little bit. But the same style, same stature though. Gotta get some weapons. Gotta get some better weapons around him. I like a few of the receivers that the Broncos have. Defensively, they strong as well. So we'll see if all that could come together. If so, look out for the Broncos this year. I got to finish at third. Finish at second, the LA Chargers. LA Chargers, Chargers is just like some other teams. It's like once they get the expectations, they just fall apart. You see what they happened in last year's playoffs. I think it's going to be prominent that they get off to a good start. I like Justin Herbert just as much as everybody else, but I do think he's slightly overrated. I just think he's slightly overrated. I think he's still got to do a little bit more for me, and that's just my opinion, but I think he's great. I still have high expectations for him. He has the weapons, veteran weapons, Mike Williams and what's the other receiver? I hate when I had these brain farts. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Austin Eckler is underrated. I think he's a weapon as well. But they just got to show me some more defensively. Like there's one thing I do recognize. They had a lot of injuries last year. Joey Bosa couldn't go that much. If you get him back healthy, that defense is going to be solidified. James in a safety spot. They got guys, Khalil Mack, proven veteran. So they got some guys on the side of the ball that can slow things down there. Don't like that they sort of play on a neutral field because the Chargers don't really have an LA market. But I think that could change if they start winning. And I just think they're more the established team to challenge the Chiefs, who's the Chiefs of number one. And, I think they're going to win this division again. But I like the Chargers to be somewhat of a threat to them and finish second. Kansas City Chiefs, defending champions. Patrick Mahomes. Like I said, they got bad news about Kelsey. I doubt if he plays. It ain't official yet, but I hyperextended the knee in that short period of time. They played on Sunday, maybe, but since they play tomorrow night, I just don't think he's going to be ready to go. They might just try to hold it out as long as they can to make Detroit sweat a little bit. But I don't think he's going to play tomorrow night. I'd be shocked if he does. But Patrick Mahomes has proven that he's more than capable of keeping this thing together, at least for one game. The Chris Jones thing is a problem. I think they need him back. That could be a problem during the season when you go against other high octane offenses. This Detroit offense that they playing tomorrow night is not as fluke either. So if it would have been a shootout, I'm going to be a little bit worried about the Chiefs, but we'll see. But I think overall for the season, they still the team to beat. 5 straight AFC Championship games. Like I said, it's one of those teams you just until they lose or until you see some glaring evidence that they have fallen off or they can't do it. It's hard to go against them. So I got the Chiefs finishing first again in the AFC West. And if they win it this year, it'd be their 8th straight division title. So Vegas and Vegas finishing last. I got the Broncos, thinking about basketball, finishing third. LA Chargers finishing second, and the Chiefs finishing first. So alright, so then we went through all 32 teams. We got our division winners. We about to break down the playoff picture. This was hard for me in both conferences. The NFC more because there's a lot of question marks about a lot of teams. AFC is just because it's just so deep, so it's hard to pick teams. And then you're not going to know how, especially with the wild cards, you're not going to go how tiebreakers going to play a part in it. Some of these teams had the same record, but because of their schedule or because this and that, they can miss out on the playoffs. So I'm just going off Mostly who I think just the better team is, and a little bit by the schedule, because some teams just have harder schedule than others. So okay, so let's start in the NFC, since we did the NFC first. So we go back to the NFC. I think the Eagles gonna win the conference again as far as the 1 seed. Just like last year, I think the Niners will finish second in the conference. I just think they might get off to, I don't want to say a slow start. I think they might lose this weekend. I really think the Steelers might get them this weekend. But I think the Niners going to be right by then. And I think the division they play in is not that strong. So I think that will help them out a lot as well. The Detroit Lions finished in third. I think, like I said, I really believe in the Lions this year. I think they win the North and get the 3rd seed in the NFC. That means New Orleans will be 4th, just because, like I said, I just think still question marks there. And I think they will have a little bit of competition in the North. I mean, in the South as well. Okay, my wild cards: 5th seed Dallas Cowboys. I think that's a given, because I think they're gonna be up there, one of the best records in the NFC. So I think they get that 5th spot. Definitely solid there. Number 6, Seattle Seahawks. I think they get the 6th spot. I think mostly stuff going to carry over from last year, and just because, like I said, I don't know about the other teams in the NFC, so I just think they get a spot. And this one was hard. The last spot in the wild card, I'm going with the Giants. And this was almost a last second decision, just because what I heard experts say, they did get Saquon back. Defensively, offensively, they're going to be better. So I just think they will get into the playoffs as well again. So pretty much almost every team from last year, except for the 2 new division winners in the North and the South. So the same team's going to make it again. Now, teams I think they could make it. Atlanta, I give them a shot, because, like I said, what I heard experts say about how the offense will be dynamic, and they improve on defense, so maybe they got a chance to slide in to one of these wild card spots. Minnesota Vikings, I still think they're going to be a decent team with Cousins and Jefferson and the guys they got there. It's just their defense I'm worried about, but I think they have a shot. And I say the LA Rams, because, like I said, if Cup come back healthy and play most of the year, Donald do what he does, Stafford is a decent quarterback, I just think the Rams, just to be steady and maybe get enough wins to sneak in there as well. But yeah, my 7 playoff teams for the NFC: Eagles, Niners, Lions, Saints, Cowboys, Seahawks, Giants, in that order. And we'll touch back on the NFC when we get, as I predict, my NFC Championship game. AFC now. 1, Kansas City. Like I said, I think they got a tough schedule, and with everything that's going on, but I think, like I said, until you beat the champion, they are who they are. I think they get the 1 seed. Number 2, the Jags. I just think the Jags schedule is easy. They got a chance to get the 1, but I just think the Chiefs will just be able to just squeak by and beat them. I think they play head to head, so I think they'll beat them head to head. They might wind up having the same record, but I think that would be the tiebreaker. So I give the Chiefs the edge. I give the Jags second. Baltimore Ravens in the North, even though they're in a tough division, I think the East is a little bit more question marks. So I just think that'll get the Ravens that 3rd spot. I think that the Dolphins will finish 4th, winning the East in the AFC. Now this way things get a lot trickier. First wild card, the 5th spot, I give to the Cincinnati Bengals. Like I said, I just think they're going to come on strong at the end of the year. Buffalo Bills, just off of continuity and what they have done over the last few years, I got to put them in there at 6. 7, I struggle with mightily, because I think there's a lot of teams that can compete for these wild card spots in the AFC. But I'm going to go with the Chargers, because I just think Justin Herbert is the better quarterback out of all these other teams right now. And that Chargers defense, I think, will hold up and even that out. So I think the Chargers will sneak in and get that final spot. So I got Kansas City, Jacksonville, Baltimore Ravens, Miami Dolphins, Cincinnati Bengals, Buffalo Bills, LA Chargers. They are my 7 AFC playoff teams. I'm going to post my NFC playoff teams and my power rankings. We're going to get into the power rankings in a second. The contenders that can compete for one of these wild card spots. New York Jets. Like I said, you got Aaron Rodgers. You might even win this division maybe. But I got y'all missing out. Pittsburgh Steelers, like I said, Mike Tomlin's going to have these guys ready. But I just think they slightly under the other teams right now. Tennessee Titans, just because of the pickup of DeAndre Hopkins and Mike Vrabel as well, being a good coach. I think those two teams they'd be there near the end. And Denver, just off potential. With Russell Wilson could get back to his form, and what Sean Payton is, so I give them a shot as well. So that only leaves 3 teams. Really 4. Cleveland, like I said, I like Cleveland as well. And Vegas. Now, Houston and the Colts, they probably the only teams I really don't give a shot to, just because they're young and they're rebuilding. And the AFC is so strong, there's no way you can see them overcoming anybody. Now, Vegas and Cleveland, maybe so. Would shock me if they right there near the end as well. Alright, so let's go to the first let's do the power rankings, and then I'm gonna do the awards predictions. Then we'll go back to the NFC AFC championship and who I think will meet in the Super Bowl. We'll make that last. So my first power rankings, week 1. Let's start from the bottom to the top. I usually do 5 teams. I've done it all last year. So this is my first one to begin the season. Number 5, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just think, and this is sort of going off what I think is going to happen, and also right now. And I think the Jaguars, like I said, they're going to be one of the top 2 teams in the AFC. So there's a lot of teams you can argue, you could put here, but I got them there. Number 4, Cincinnati, just off of what they did last year as well. The Niners, I got 3rd, because I just think they're going to be there at the end as well. Eagles, number 2, NFC champion, of course, and the Chiefs are number 1 to start the season, your Super Bowl champion. So, I think the top 3 is unarguable. Maybe the last, Cincinnati, they have question marks, so I can see you putting in other teams, and the Jags as well. I'm not going to really argue too much this week. Like I said, we ain't played no games yet, so these 2 teams could be out. Many of the top teams could be out in just a couple weeks. So, but I just gave the Jags their respect because of what I think they're going to do this year, and also, they was in the divisional last year. So, some people say, why not Dallas? Why not the Chargers? We can name a lot of teams that deserve to be in this top 5, but as of right now, I feel really strongly about these 2. So, I'm going to post my NFC. Like I said, I'm going to post my NFC predictions. Then I'm going to post my power rankings later on today, and then tomorrow I'll post my AFC predictions and maybe my AFC predictions and my MVP and stuff, all that stuff. And then Friday I give my Super Bowl prediction as well. And y'all can, like I said, if y'all watching the show or watching the replay, y'all don't have to wait for that. Alright, so let's go with the rewards predictions. Defensive Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna go with Jalen Carter of the Philadelphia Eagles. I just think he's gonna get the opportunities because they moved on from a lot of veteran guys. They were a little younger. Carter played well at Georgia. I think he'll get the opportunities, and the Eagles going to win. So I think that's going to help his case. I got him Defensive Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Bijan Robinson of the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, I heard this guy is clearly the best running back in this draft. and he's going to get the opportunities in Atlanta. And I think the Falcons have a chance to, you know, at least compete for this division and maybe for a wild card spot. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and give him Offensive Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. I'm gonna go with T.J. Watt, the Steelers. Like I said, there's a lot of people that could compete for that. Aaron Donald every year, Myles Garrett every year, but I think T.J. Watt and the Steelers' potential to at least be a playoff team or just to be a steady team. Nick Bosa is going to be Nick and Joey Bosa. They're going to be candidates. Michael Parsons for Dallas. So it's a lot of guys for candidates. But I just like T.J. Watt. I just think if he's healthy, he's going to have a better year than all of them. I've seen him enough, and maybe it's a little biased by what I've seen, but I think he'll win Defensive Player of the Year. MVP, I think Jalen Hurts gets his MVP back that he should have won last year, really. He got hurt the last few games of the season, and Patrick Mahomes came on. Patrick Mahomes could win it every year. But other than Hurts and Mahomes, I think Dak Prescott have a shot. If Dallas do a little bit more than you think they're going to do. Let's see here. Who else? Trevor Lawrence might get some looked at. Lamar Jackson, if the Ravens is able to get out that NFC North division with the division winner. So just like the Defensive players, a lot of people you can rely on. A dark horse pick, Travis Henry. I think he's always a dark horse pick if he carry the Titans further. So a lot of guys can consider, but I just think, you know how the media thinks, they probably think they owe him this. Like if he have another monster year and he don't get hurt or nothing like that, I think they'd give it to him. So I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. Alright, so now it's the moment of truth. The Final Four, who I think the Final Four teams going to be standing, NFC, AFC, and my Super Bowl 58 predictions and winner. Alright, let's start with the NFC, since that's the theme here. We've been starting with the NFC. I think it's going to be a rematch. I think it'll be the Eagles and the Niners again. I think they hit above everybody else. I think Dallas is right under there if everything goes right for the Cowboys. I think they have the talent that can challenge any of these two teams, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But I just don't believe Dak Prescott can make that next step enough to get them over the hump. But he could prove me wrong. That's the only other team I see really challenging them. Everybody else still have to build a little bit more, but I think these are two top teams in the NFC without question. So I got them in the NFC Championship. AFC Championship game, it's a little bit of a biased pick. Like I said, the Chiefs are there until I see some line-out events, or if Patrick Mahomes get hurt or anything like that. The Chiefs will be here, and so that means it'll be 6 years in a row that they made it. But I'm gonna go with the Ravens, man. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Like I said, the Jags are coming and the Dolphins are coming. Buffalo, like I said, I think they took a step back. I think Cincinnati, just the uncertainty of Burrow and his injury and some other things. I think, you know, they're going to take a little bit of a step back this year as well. So I think this is an opportunity for us, and I'm going to say us because I am standing as a Ravens fan, to finally break through if Lamar stays healthy. I think we have a decent spot in the playoffs. Also, went into a buzzsaw. We should be fine. I think we could beat any of these other teams in this conference. So I'm going to go with them to make the AFC Championship game. But I am going to still keep my head on us, you know, I'm not going to jump out the window. I still got the Chiefs beating them. And I think the Niners get revenge on the Eagles. So I think it'll be a rematch of Super Bowl 54. I think it'll be the Niners and the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs will beat the Niners again. Like I said, great defenses could do whatever, but Patrick Mahomes found a way to beat them down by 10 in the fourth quarter. I don't know if it'll quite go like that again, but I just think the Chiefs, until something drastic happens, I gotta roll with the Chiefs. I Like I said, the Chiefs, like I said, the Chiefs will be challenged this year. I'm not saying they're just going to walk through the AFC, because the AFC is just so strong. But I just still think they got the best coach. Well, I would personally take Tomlin over Andy Reid, but Andy Reid is also great, especially when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. But he is one of the best coaches. As long as those two stay upright. Now we see the injury to Kelsey. That's going to be a problem if he's out for a while. Hopefully they get the Chris Jones thing settled. But I think all that stuff is going to come together, and the Chiefs will be the Chiefs again, and they'll be the championship again, and they'll be the first team to repeat since the 03 and 04 New England Patriots, in my opinion. So that's the show, and that's my predictions for this upcoming NFL season. It was tough. I really took, especially the last 2 days, I really sat down and I wrote everything down, what I thought, what happened. So it wasn't easy at all, but I feel confident with my predictions. But like I said, some of them predictions is their predictions. There's a lot of good teams in the AFC, like I said. So the Chiefs is going to be challenged. Injury plays a part of it. It's the NFL. So injuries is going to play a part. Somebody's going to lose somebody of significance. We just don't know who. Hopefully it's nobody. But there's always somebody gets hurt, unfortunately. So that's going to change some things. Some teams might just simply underperform that you thought that was going to perform. So, but to me, this season is one of the most anticipated seasons in a long time. The parity in the NFL, which makes it what it is. There's a lot of parity in this league, so I think we're going to definitely see it this year, especially in the AFC. I mean, we might have multiple teams with 10 wins out of the playoffs this year, and multiple teams with the same record. That's why I said the tiebreakers are going to be tricky. So that's why my teams that I got, it's going to be tough to predict that at the end of the season, because the tiebreakers change on strength of schedule, on division opponents, things of that nature. So. But the division is the division. You win your division, of course. You don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, this is gonna be a great season. Thank you, Deborah, for stopping by. Maybe she wasn't a football fan, but at least she said hello, so I appreciate that. Everybody can watch the playback. You probably gotta search it first, so just go to my channel, go to the live tab. I'm about to put out some stuff on social media to let everybody know that I've recorded the video. And I thank you guys so much for being supportive, patient with me. Like I said, I've been up and down in life, just period. So trying to balance things out. I got a lot of time off now, at least for now. Been looking for work because pretty much my current job cut a lot of hours, so I'm off a lot more during the week. So I should try to dive into my YouTube, but I also got to stay focused on other things that's going on around me. So it's still early in the day. I might pull out a Hades video or do some Sonic Wars and stuff, but I can't do no Crash Team Rubber right now. Don't have no goddamn Slay Season Plus is gone for right now. Hoping I can get that on soon, so I can get back online. So I haven't played Call of Duty either in about a week, so that sucks. It's not necessarily a money issue. I'm trying to wait for my direct deposit to kick in, because I only can pay it through, having a card. Can't pay it cash. If I could pay it cash, I would have got it back on by now. So. But other than that, guys, thank you for joining me. We got it in about an hour. I was hoping we had more of a crowd. I thought Deborah was going to stay around, but that's fine. You guys can watch the playback. You get predictions and your critiques. Tell me what you disagree with me on or agree with me on. Like I said, I'll put some of the stuff on social media day by day, to try to get people to watch as well if they want to know everything. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Hope you guys having a good Wednesday. Stay cool. It's hot. I know where I am on the East Coast. I imagine the South is probably hot as well. So we'll see. So with all that being said, I'm Troy West, and thank you so much for watching. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace and love, everyone. Enjoy the NFL season. NFL. Oh, wait. My prediction for tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, Lions, Chiefs. I think still the Chiefs win. I'm going to go 27-24. I think it's going, it's the first game of the season. I think it's going to start slow. I think the Lions might even take the lead, but I think the Chiefs is going to get it together and win the game tomorrow night. So that's where I stand with that. We'll do all the rest of the week 1 picks. We got a show this weekend, episode 242, Saturday. It's not going to be a live show, but I record it. I get my week 1 picks and everything, and I go over my power rankings and stuff again. We'll go over the Chiefs game as well. Alright guys, I'm Troy West, and thank you for watching the Silentsports Gaming channel. Enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you guys Saturday, and peace and love, everyone. Thank you so much.